Welcome to Seltzer Squad, the podcast about staying sober in the city, with your hosts, Kate Sander and Jess Valentine.
Hey Nat, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Squad, I had Nat come to help me to talk about our new sponsor, Brainwashed Coffee. The mission of Brainwashed Coffee is to offer support to those struggling with addiction and inspire others to join the fight.
Sounds awesome.
They donate 50% of all the proceeds to addiction recovery. On their site, they're also extending a discount to the Seltzer Squad listeners of 20%. I am trying out the Guatemala Ethiopia blend and the Colombian decaf because I'm a half calf type of girl, and I can't wait to use my Brainwashed Coffee to start making lattes. So order yourself some Brainwashed Coffee. It's brainwashedcoffeeco.com. Use code Seltzer Squad for 20% off at checkout. Squad, I just finished my book list of 2021, and I wanted to remind you that if you go to audibletrial.com/Seltzer Squad, you get your first month free or a free credit, however you want to look at it. One of my goals for 2021 is to read 50 books. I don't know if I will be able to read 50 books, but I did start making my list. I have a lot of quit lit on it, and I'm very excited to start reading and listening. Majority of the books on my list are audiobooks. So if you're interested in that as well, please go to audibletrial.com/Seltzer Squad and sign up.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jess. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very caffeinated. I should probably stop drinking my coffee, but I'm not going to.
I know. We can't,
love your
we can't
glasses.
give everything up. Thank you. I like them too. Do you like this shape?
Yes.
All right. Anyway.
I was just telling Kate that I like her new glasses. They remind me of John Goodman in The Big Lebowski because they're yellow. And if you are watching us on Patreon, you can see them.
Yes. What do you want to talk about today? Well, actually, I want to talk about something that I brought up, but I think you don't like resolutions, and I like talking about this shit.
Okay. I don't.
So it's not
like
January
resolutions.
1st anymore, obviously, that I feel like there's so much pressure at the beginning of the year to like have all these goals and like have a plan. And I think there were too many outlying issues that like obviously January 6th happened and all of the white supremacists like took to the streets and goal setting
Yes.
didn't feel right then for me.
Mhm.
And it was even just more of a reflection. And so now here we are later in 2020. And I think that now is at least for me, I feel more stable about thinking about the rest of the year and also reflecting on last year because we're almost like an entire calendar year into COVID-19. And I just kind of wanted to check in to think like, what were your kind of wrap up thoughts of last year / what are you looking forward to and or planning for yourself this year?
Okay. Can I, before I get into that,
Yeah.
can I just mention something that I haven't told you really yet? So I had traveled for Christmas.
Yes.
I quarantined when I was there, the whole 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very responsible. But flying back, we flew back January 5th and had a layover in LAX in Los Angeles, which is a pretty liberal area, you would think. And it was 6:30 in the morning, and our gate was next to the flight to Washington, D.C. So we were in the middle of like the pre-riot crew. It was so scary. And it's funny because walking through the airport, there wasn't that many people, but I'd see a lot of people like not wearing masks. I'm like, what the fuck are these people doing? And then they all like, no one was really wearing like their Trump hats or Trump shirts or anything like that until they got to the gate.
Oh.
And they were, because then they saw other people.
Other trumpets.
So then they felt comfortable. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like all these people want to just be able to blend in like they're not like racist, xenophobic, monsters. And then it was so scary. It was like 6:00 in the morning. Obviously, me and Cameron are fucking gay, right? We're sitting there like holding hands or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was us, this other I say poor little, I just felt bad for them. A Hispanic gay boy couple, which were just coming back from Disneyland. They had all their fucking Mickey shit.
Oh.
Obviously, like not trying to be like, yeah. And then there's one like our age, like black girl, and everyone else was Trumpers. And it was fucking crazy. They were just taking over like the way it was set up, there were like 4 gates in one. They were taking over the whole thing, chanting 4 more years, yelling, no one wearing a mask. The girl that kept having to come on the announcement and be like, please wear your masks properly. It has to be covering your nose and your mouth. And
I didn't even think about it until you texted that. And then I was like, oh, those poor flight attendants
yeah.
deserve a medal
Yeah.
of freedom, each of
Yeah.
them, for having to
It
deal with
was-
that bullshit.
Oh, and they were just like, meeting each other and being like, oh, hey, and then like high-fiving. And I'm really curious what the COVID like spread was like that day. But it was really, really scary. And that was
It's
obviously
just a
we
fucked up
didn't
way to
know-
start off the year.
Yeah. Yeah. And the election happened and we're like, whew, like a sigh of relief. And then I was just like, I looked like shit, right? It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I better not get in a fight with any of these fucking people because I'm not one to really keep my mouth shut. Like they're all
I feel
chanting.
like you're getting
4
better.
more
You're
years.
so much better.
Yeah. Well, if I looked better, I might have been like, y'all lost. But I'm not trying to be on YouTube like, looking
With
the
no
way
makeup on?
Yeah.
I love that.
I look like shit, like seriously. And Cameron just was like, it's not worth it.
No, it's
These
not
people
at
are
that
not worth
point.
it. It's not worth it. But honestly, it was like the mask, like the lack of mask that was really pissing me off. But anyway, I'm not going to get into it. It was just very, very scary. And I wasn't even at the fucking riot.
Mhm.
I was in an airport. And it was just, seeing women wearing Women for Trump, seeing black guys wearing MAGA hats. It's just like, what?
Yeah, I don't
So-
even dignify them with the courtesy of calling them conservative. They're just like Trump supporters is now their own breed of monster.
They're Nazis, basically. But
I digress. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
it didn't feel, it didn't, all my stupid, dumb white girl resolutions felt stupid. So I was like, I just need some more
Yeah.
time to think about how I really want to show up in 2021 and also reflect on just 2020 and what I'm
think
leaving behind and what I'm bringing with me.
I feel like our new year doesn't start until January 21st this year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it starts January 1st. I think
Right.
it starts January 21st.
Yes.
Did you watch the ball drop or?
No, I'm trying to think, what did I do on
I
New
was
Year's
sleeping.
Eve?
I slept, but Cameron woke up to pee at 11:59. So she woke up to pee and we're like, oh my God, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And then fell back asleep. Like, it was the first year that I didn't stay up.
Uh-huh. TJ and I feel like we watched something on TV, but we had sparkling, we had free. It's pronounced
okay.
free, everyone. The people at Frey told me that it's pronounced free. So we had
Okay.
some free sparkling brut and
Which they sent us some stuff I'm going to
Yeah.
bring.
and it was delicious and it was great. And I honestly can't remember what I specifically did, which means that it was not a big deal.
Yeah. I didn't bring any with me because I was on a very remote island in Hawaii and I was quarantining. So even if I wasn't, I don't think they would sell that
Mhm.
stuff there. And that's also why I didn't watch the ball drop because I know everyone's probably like, but Jess stays up until 5 a.m. But I was in Hawaii, but I stayed on New York time so that I wouldn't have a hard time adjusting.
Yeah, that's good.
So so it was midnight there was 5 a.m. our time.
Mhm.
So I just was like, I don't care about it. And it's just funny. It's like, I used to fucking love New Year's Eve because it's like you get dressed up and you drink. 2 of my favorite things.
Mhm.
So I don't really have resolutions as always, but I do have personal goals, I guess. I guess that's just a better way of putting it.
Mhm.
I would like to lose 5 pounds. It's
That's such a
quarantine-
delicate, cute goal.
Well, I mean,
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
it's just I'm just still trying to shake a little bit of the quarantine weight, but I'm happy. I'm fine where I'm at, but that's my goal. I'm not going to stress it. Really, I want to lose 10, but whatever. But I want to focus more on my sobriety. I want to find myself again because
Cute.
you get in a relationship and you kind of are overcome by all of that. And
Totally.
so I need to get back to myself. And then goal wise, materialistically, I guess that's the way to say it. I just want to be really good about spending money. Sorry, not spending money, saving money. And I don't know. I want to get a little, maybe not buy a house, but maybe get I think I've been talking about it, just getting a place in the woods or something
Mm-hmm.
small or just something to escape to because I really feel like COVID taught me I need to be more in touch with nature and away from the city and concrete and people. So,
Yes. Love
how about you?
that.
They're very easy. They're not, I don't go too crazy with this shit.
Well, what were like do you have any like thoughts on how you wrapped up 2020, or do you have any reflections on 2020?
Yeah, but yes and no. Like I feel like I've mentioned it all like in our quarantine episodes and stuff. Like I think I just learned that I wasn't being responsible with the way I was spending money.
Mhm.
I think that I learned how much I enjoy I embrace my introvertedness, which I need to kind of come out of a little bit because it's really easy for me to isolate, which is not really great. This year, I also need to focus on how to make my relationship
Stronger.
better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for a therapist, like a counselor for us. Just trying to really like go forward, like very positively, just trying to be optimistic. And I feel like at the beginning of last year, when COVID happened, it was like I was scared. I was pessimistic. I was just like stressed out. So obviously just trying to be the opposite, just try to just all good things. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you? Because you've had a lot of changes this year.
I mean, I like to go through and like at the beginning of the year, I like to go through and write out, January, February, and try to write the highlights that happened each month of the year before. Just so that one day, if we ever want to come back and say like, what do we even do during 2019 or whatever? Like I did it last year and it was nice to kind of go through it with TJ and be like, oh, wow, we did do this and we did do that. And then this happened and blah, blah, blah. So I think
that's cool.
I started doing that and I got to like around June. And so I want to finish that. But I think last year on the pod, I said that our resolution was to not take on any more projects. And then I like decided to go back to school and
the van.
Quarantine hit. And our resolution was to finish up all of our projects. So just sort of recapping. I mean, we finished the house upstate and that was like a major, major accomplishment because it feels so good to finish something. And
it looks amazing.
Yeah, and it looks amazing and it's where I want it to be. And there are like little things I want to change and improve, but overall I feel like it's in a very good place and I'm very proud of myself. Our apartment is in the best spot that it's ever been. We wanted to do some things with our little garden space that we didn't end up doing until much later into the year, but I'm happy that
you did some stuff.
Yeah, we like have a fence now. Like I'll send you a picture of it, but we got some outdoor furniture and while we can't enjoy it yet because it's too cold now, like we'll have a good time enjoying it in the coming months. So our house is done, our apartment is done, and now the last thing is finishing up our van, which hopefully will be done in like the next 2 weeks. So
oh wow, okay.
Then all of 2020 will be wrapped up. And we were I said to TJ, like, we'll write down what your goals are for the year. And I think emotionally for me this year, I want to slow down and I've had to really do a lot of processing. Like I said to Nance, I think my active listening ears are growing. Like that's what they say therapists need to do is like be an active listener. And before I think I would listen, but already be in my head thinking about what I'm going to say next or how I can fix it or how I can like manipulate the situation. And I've noticed myself actually being able to slow down in the moment and be able to listen to the person with compassion and B, have discernment of like, your problems versus my problems, where like before all the problems used to be my problems. And now I'm like, oh, this sounds like a you issue and not a me issue. And so it's nice to spend some time sort of delineating, like I can still show up for people, but I don't have to make their business my business. I can just listen and show up. So kind of like continuing to fall into that is like one of my goals or resolutions is to like be less reactive and more just okay sitting with things, even if they're like unfinished or even if it's awkward, to just be like, let it hang out, like let it be silently awkward.
I was gonna say you don't have to fill the silence.
Exactly. So
that's a good thing, slowing down. I think that I'm actually
like in my head, like slowing down in conversation. Like I can just be like, oh, that's interesting, and like bookend it right there and not need to like help someone or fix something for them or insert myself. Like I can just be like, wow, that's great, or wow, that sucks, and relate to them.
I think I also want to like slow down just in general with everything. I rush through things, which I need to not do, and I don't understand why I even do that anyway. So it's just like literally every aspect of my life I need to slow down.
And
So that is
for
another
me,
thing,
the
yeah.
other thing that I want to do is start to show up for myself a little bit more. Like my excuse for many years was that I didn't have time to do anything, and now I have time. So there's really
Yeah.
no excuse to like not show up for myself and like take better care of myself and exercise or go for walks, like write or read books that I've always wanted to read. There are no excuses to skip out on. Like I've worked so many years to get to the point of like making my own schedule, and while I'm in this transition period into like something else, this is still a life that I wanted to create for myself. And I did work really hard to create it. So I haven't been
Enjoy
allowing
it.
myself to enjoy it. So in this year, I
Yeah.
want to enjoy it. Hey squad, I wanted to tell you about one of our sponsors for 2021, and that's BetterHelp.com. We get asked all the time by the Seltzer Squad for recommendations to therapists and mental health resources. BetterHelp is affordable, private online counseling anytime, anywhere. Through signing up with our link, you can take their short quiz and get matched with a therapist right away. Once they pair you with a licensed therapist in your state, they'll go over your income needs. So it's billed monthly, and it's based on your location, your preferences, and your therapist's availability. So you can cancel your membership at any time for any reason, but you get basically unlimited access to a therapist. You can have a live chat session, but you can also do like a text session where you walk away in between. You can do phone sessions, you can do video sessions. It's really kind of just depends on your level of comfort. So BetterHelp has a team of trained and fully licensed therapists that are in good standing. You can rest assured that you're getting a full credentialed professional. I actually used online therapy this summer when Nance was on maternity leave. I signed up for BetterHelp. Through signing up with the Seltzer Squad, our listeners get 10% off by going to betterhelp.com/Seltzer Squad. I guess the other goal is that my body has gotten really fucked up during quarantine. Like I was telling TJ, like my back hurts in places that it never used to hurt before. And I don't know if that's just because we are so much more sedentary than we were before. Like, I don't know about everybody listening, but I live on the East Coast and I was used to getting 6,500 steps a day, just going to and from work. And so I've lost muscle. I've like gained weight. My back hurts. Everything hurts. So I feel like physically I just need to take better care of myself. And that's obviously encompassing many things like
You're not alone in
losing
that.
weight, but like going to the dentist and like going to get a physical and like just kind of the routine upkeep of A, getting older, but B, also spending literally a year on my ass.
Yeah, I'm also doing the same. I went to the doctor.
Mhm.
I'm waiting for my referrals. I'm
Like
trying
that's
to set
hard
up-
though in sobriety. Like I'm not used to taking care of myself like that.
Yeah. Well, you go from having like a parent do it, and
Yes.
then maybe you just don't do it for a
Or
while.
to like
whether
only
it's,
having like the drama of like the extreme, right? Where you like have to have an emergency, like you're at urgent med or you're at the emergency room. Like there's no in between. So like even just making the appointment and showing up for it is like
If you
shit
even
I
have
didn't used to do.
insurance.
Yeah, totally.
like I didn't have insurance for years, so I didn't do anything for
Right.
years. Yeah, I had a pap smear for the
Mhm.
first time in years. I'm waiting to go to an ENT because I think I need to have another surgery on my
Mhm.
nose because I can't breathe. I'm actually I had a prescription, I guess it's prescription to get physical therapy like 2 years ago. I just never
Mhm.
did it. So I'm waiting to like do that.
Both
because,
of
like
those
you
things are on
said-
my list, the ENT and the physical therapist as well.
Yeah, girl. I think we're gonna get like an exercise bike just to kind of move,
Mhm.
just like to move around because I don't particularly love walking around the neighborhood because as women we get catcall. It's just like I
Mhm.
don't want that. So and this way you can like watch TV.
Mhm. I think
But-
another aspect of 2020 that I'm bringing with me into 2021 is that like our group that we talk to all the time is something that I never knew that I needed. Of like a circle of people that are sober that understand life through the lens of being sober. And that was like
Yes.
something I just never really realized that I needed to talk about with other people
Yeah, I get that.
besides therapists,
Sure. Well, I felt like, when I got sober last time, I had a lot of sober friends. I
Mhm.
had you, I had Sophie, I had Cameron, I had my friends Kate, and then Kate moved to England and I'm not friends with her anymore. Sophie moved to Scotland and then she came back, she drinks again.
Mhm.
Cameron is drinking again. Like you and I haven't seen each other.
Mhm.
So I definitely felt like I was losing my sober
Crew.
support system. Yeah. And so I'm really happy Kate let me join her and her like little her friends group chat, and they're awesome. And I mean, I've already like known who they were,
Yes.
but I was just like, can I join, even though I haven't had like any personal conversations with them, because I just knew that I needed to do it or I'm going to end up drinking again because I've been struggling. And it's been great. And because I have an addictive personality, I'm not on it as much as everyone else,
Sure.
because I will let that, like, I will
Mhm.
just sit there on my phone all day, respond. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to just check it when I can.
Mhm.
And I think that so far it's like, I'm not trying to like be ghost everybody,
Mhm.
but I know I need to like in increments, you know, and it's been
Like
really,
this is what
really
I imagine
helpful.
AA fellowship to be like, sort of. And I
Sure.
was thinking about like, how do we create this for the squad? Like, I can't just randomly put people in groups and make them share phone numbers. Like, I don't know how to organically help people create this, because
Well,
I wish
I
that
feel like
everybody had like a little pod for this, though, because it
I
can't
get
be
what
too
you're
many
saying.
people or it's too many people talking, and it has to
Yeah.
be enough people that the experiences are diverse, you know?
Yeah. Well, okay. So going off that, one of the girls we kind of found through our Zoom meeting,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a good way that you can reach out to people. If there's someone in a Zoom
Yeah.
meeting or something, or you see posting a lot, then you can reach out to them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the whole point. Like eventually, when COVID is hopefully just
Mm-hmm.
a memory, we want to start doing events. And
Yeah.
I
But I think that's
that
what's so empowering about some of the communities that are in the sober space that meet on a more regular basis. Like the Retired Party Girl has a community that she has like videos and meetings with, and there is, you know, like the mom that we interviewed has the sober mom community, and there's the sober Black girls community. And so I think that just the growth of more of these like smaller, more intimate communities is so helpful in the space, because I mean, when we started the podcast, we were just a podcast. We never thought about like what that would grow or how that would morph into other things. But the fellowship aspect of it is so important on like a day-to-day maintenance perspective.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been on the forum that much because of same reason why I'm not in the text group as much, is because it will literally take over my life. I had a forum. I had my own forum years ago for Chinese crusteds, and it became my life. It was very problematic, but that's a great way where people can break off into like subgroups or whatever, and like DM people but we have things planned and stuff eventually. We just have to wait for the world to get back to more normal.
I think the other thing that I'm bringing into 2021 is to be more outspoken in the ways I think are important. I think still last year I found myself holding back when I wanted to speak up, and I just like made a promise to myself that there is just absolutely no room for that in my life going forward. And you know, I've talked like at length about this with other members of the community about like showing up and being an ally is, and like shutting those things down and speaking up in circles online and offline, I think was still a pain point for me, which like still makes me embarrassed and ashamed to say, but it's just something that I had to deal with and figure out for myself. And it's just, I'm leaving like that Kate behind in 2020.
Yeah. I mean, think about how different you were when we first started the podcast.
Totally.
And you were afraid to even like say certain things, right?
Yeah. Like say I was sober.
Yeah. But then like, I think the BLM movement was also like a very big part of things. Like I remember we were recording an episode and we were like, oh, should we like not say this because we don't want to offend people? And then you were like, well, this is us. And I'm like, you're right. Like this is our opinions and no one has to listen to us, and they can also listen to us and disagree, and that's totally fine. They can disagree on personal matters but agree on sobriety matters and stuff. So I agree, because I feel like I'm always really true to myself, but then the more we grew, the more I started to censor myself, and I don't want to do that. So
same.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay alienating the wrong kinds of people.
Yes, exactly.
Full stop.
Because it's like, yeah, I mean, I got that pretty nasty text or DM that one time from that listener, and she was, you know, manipulative and stuff. And it's like, you cannot put that on me.
Yeah.
You can't put your husband's sobriety on me. I'm sorry. It's just not okay. And I told her it wasn't okay. And I told her, you know, you don't have to listen to us if you don't like my personal beliefs on this other matter.
And I mean, I think it's integral to my sobriety to show up in the world as an authentic person. And it's outside of my integrity to not support like minority communities. Like that's part of me being sober is showing up in that way.
Yes.
And I can't have one without the
get that.
other. And I'm embarrassed that needed to be pointed out to me, but it did. And so I'm also just really grateful that I am sober so I can show up in the way that I want to be.
Yeah, I 100% get that.
So I'm
think
I'm
this is
excited
gonna be a
about
good year.
2021 in that way.
Me too. I am excited. I just want this virus to kind of subside a bit. And then I just feel like,
Are you going to get the vaccine, Jess? I feel like there's so many people that ask me that, like it's controversial.
I know 100% I want the vaccine. 100% I deal with people. Now, here's the thing. I'm pretty healthy. If I were to get COVID, I think I'd be okay.
Mhm.
Obviously, it would suck,
Sure.
but I don't think I would die from it. But so I don't think that I like need the vaccine. But because I am around people, I feel like it's the responsible choice on my part is to 100% get vaccinated.
hmm
I don't understand why it's so controversial, but
I
again,
mean, that's
people
for a
have
different
conspiracy
podcast, but yeah.
theories. Yeah,
Totally.
Exactly.
I mean, I think
So,
for me, I towed that gray area line of like falling into the like wellness new agey almost conspiracy theory type. Like I could have easily gone down that road and been convinced to
I
go
believe
down
it.
that road. And I think like TJ and I, it started for me this year with the flu shot. Like we were like, well, we never really get the flu shot because again, we're healthy people and it's not that like
Yeah.
we were adamantly
Did you
against
get
it.
it?
I guess I just didn't think that I needed to get it. And then, I don't want to say like did my research, but like just really sat with the reasons why I didn't want to get it. And they were all based around fear and not based around like anything rooted in reality. And then I was like, this isn't a good enough reason to like not get something that not only benefits myself, but benefits other people. And the funny thing about it is I was talking about a friend and it's one of those things that you like talk about a lot and then you get it and it's a non-issue, complete non-issue, and you don't think about it ever again. Like I don't still think about if I should have gotten the flu shot. It's just like I've moved on in my life. And so, yeah, I'm going to get the vaccine because I would like to eventually see people in real life again.
Yes.
And I
like
miss
it.
hugging people. Like as introverted as I am, like I still miss.
Yeah. I get it. I'm with you 100%. I want the vaccine. Give it to me now.
Yes. So
No, I'm positive. I'm looking positively for 2021. Started off rough, but I'm hoping that it ends. I hope it ends on a high point, just keeps crescendoing.
yeah, I mean, we can't have the good without the bad, right? So I think that for me, Biden-Harris win was sort of an up that I needed from a lot of down. And so I hope that there are ups and downs this year and we are dealing with them in a cohesive and like united way. And that goes like in the recovery community and not, like we can do anything if we all like put our minds to it and we can help each other.
I love that. I love you.
I'm trying to think if I have like stupid resolutions. Obviously, want to quit vaping.
I want you to quit vaping.
Okay. So
I want everyone to quit vaping.
I know. So here's what I think I'm going to do. And squad, other vapors, tell me what you think. I'm listening to this book called Atomic Habits. It's all about hacking your behavior through like very teeny tiny changes. So I saw a doctor talked about the vaping thing and they suggested I get hypnotized, which I never thought about. So I was, of course, like doing my quote unquote, doing my research on Google, like, does hypnosis work? Which is funny because I'm going to school for psychology, which hypnosis is an avenue that I can choose to go down, but whatever. So it works for some people and it doesn't work for other people. But what I learned from the people that had success with it was that they also listened to recordings when they went to sleep, like subliminal message recordings.
Like on Friends.
Yes. I don't know. I don't remember that.
Oh, Chandler does it to quit smoking.
Does it work?
But it's like a woman, or because he borrows it from Rachel or something, and it's like, I am a strong woman.
Yes.
I don't need.
Yes. So I was saying to TJ, like, what I'm trying to do now is reverse engineer like the trigger and the behavior behind me vaping and smoking. So
Sure.
is it because it's a routine? Is it because it's a stress response? Is it a coping mechanism? Is it when I'm lonely? Like I'm trying to really like itemize all of the reasons why I do it. So then I can kind of go in and build tools to subvert those things. So if I find one thing for each trigger, hopefully I'll have a more successful outcome rather than just like removing the coping mechanism completely without replacing it.
Yeah.
TBD.
I was hypnotized like 2 years ago.
For what?
And I just wanted to be, but I was like,
Wait, what? Was it just like put me under, or like do you want to fix something, or you were just like, no, I want to feel
said
hypnotized?
I want it for anxiety.
Oh, okay.
But if you want her info, we'll talk after.
Well, was it game changing, life changing? Because if not, no, I don't want her info.
We'll talk after.
Okay. So yeah, I think that is. I said to TJ though, the thing I am worried about is when we are let out of our houses. The other thing is that I'm trying to stop fake sugar. So like the sugar that kills you, like aspartame. So Diet Coke.
Oh.
Basically what that means to me is Diet Coke, no more Diet Coke, which is awful.
I actually just quit Coke myself. Well, Coca-Cola.
But I said to him like, okay, so I go out to a bar or I go meet friends and I don't drink Diet Coke anymore and I don't vape anymore and I don't drink alcohol anymore. I'm going to need to like workshop this a little bit because what the fuck am I going to do? Sit there and drink water and seltzer with bitters?
What you can, okay. I mean, this is obviously your own choice, but what I used to do is my rule was I was only allowed to have drink Coke when I went to the movies.
Okay.
So you can make it so that you're only allowed to drink Diet Coke if you're at a bar with friends. You know what I mean? Because it's not that often.
Fair.
It's a treat. It's just a treat. It's not going to kill you. Don't keep it in the house.
No, don't keep it in the house anymore.
That's the problem.
And when I go out to eat or when we pick up food, we don't get it then either, which has been a behavioral adjustment for sure.
Same. I'm like, no more Coke in the house because I love it so much. And I just drink so much of it and it's just so bad. And I think that's part of the reason why I gained so much weight.
Of course. All right. So those are my like silly things, the like surface level things. And, you know, just like,
good. I think all your big things are
keeping
good.
on.
I think all your little things are big.
I don't have any major goals yet, but when I do, I'll let you know.
You did. You named some. So you're good.
Yeah.
You have some.
Stay sober. That's about it.
Stay sober. Stay sexy. Don't get drunk.
All right. Well, until we meet again, I really miss you.
I miss you too. Be nice to yourself.
Don't forget.
Hangovers suck.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Every review helps other listeners find us. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Kate Sander. For show notes and resources, check out seltzersquad.com.